Welcome to today's collective reading. This is TrinityGaiaOracle. I've been called to incorporate more of a visual as well today, so we're trying this. See what Source Divine Spirit would like to communicate with the collective today. Get a couple oracle cards here. Okay, two more, Spirit. Okay, that one came out upright. So interesting. Okay. Before I speak on these, I'm going to grab a couple. All right, which one do you want me to grab? Okay. Grab a couple receptives for you guys here. The oracles that came through. Oh, interesting. Okay. We have the Harpy of Rage, and that's number 35. The Story Keeper came out upright. The Harpy of Rage was face down. Story Keeper was, we have the Harpy of Rage. Trying to get it so you guys can, my hands are kind of shaky. Story Keeper, and then the Phoenix. So this is going to be more for what is the receptive energy that we're being called to kind of consider. So, the Harpy of Rage coming out, landing face down initially. You may not quite fully see the power in the controlled rage. It's like this has been building and building and building and building and building. It's like little things that build into bigger things. You or energies around you have just kind of been going with the flow and allowing something to perpetuate itself. So much so that it's a part of the story and you write your own narrative. This energy doesn't write it for you. And all of that anger, that hurt, because anger is not necessarily a bad thing. It's how you work with it. It's how you handle it, how you cope with it, how you advocate for yourself. Anger is triggered when you feel sad, when you feel depressed, lonely. You feel like you're mourning something, as though something that was rightfully yours was taken from you. There's some kind of an injustice. And these things have been building and building and building and building and building because this energy in your life is manifested through people, situations, dynamics, repetitively over and over and over, has brought you to a point where, I mean, maybe when you were like first trying to figure out how to cope with this, maybe you did immediately just rage. You just threw like a temper tantrum. Maybe you were 4 the first time this happened. And that's typical for a 4-year-old to throw a temper tantrum. that is expected and normal. Their brain is not fully developed yet. However, you were still learning. You were still retaining memories from that time, learning yourself. And as you've grown up, it's not necessarily received well if you throw a temper tantrum. So you have learned to kind of be like, oh, pick and choose your battles, right? However, this energy, you're realizing it's a theme, and it has decided, because it's gone unchecked, not because you haven't wanted to check it, not because you haven't tried to check it. It's, are you fully standing in your power? This has been the challenge that has caused you to really go within and look at how the story of your life has been written. And are you writing your story from a perspective that you don't want to? Are you writing your story from a perspective of victimhood or victor, right? Empowered or small, giving away that power. Scared of the shadow. In that state of feeling unempowered and scared of the shadow, scared of what you don't know, what you don't understand, which, by the way, is very normal. Very normal. It's the hero's journey. It's part of the hero's journey. All of these things have been building. And because you haven't acted them out through temper tantrum, what you have done, however, is made this rage, this anger that's been building over your life, your friend, your ally. You move with it, not apart from it. That's what happens when you have a temper tantrum. You're moving apart from it. It's in control of you. You're along for the ride. But because you've gone into yourself and you've gotten to know that shadow and you've co-created yourself with the other aspects of you, you haven't disregarded your inner child. You haven't silenced and vilified your ego. You've healed it. You've understood it. You've listened to it. You've made decisions from a parent perspective even, because ego can sometimes be more like your teenager. And you have done this with the co-creation because you're in connection with your higher self. You know what's coming. You know what you're already creating has already occurred because you're communicating with the you that knows the cheat codes. Like, I'm already here. Let me give you some advice, is pretty much what the higher self is doing. That's the Phoenix. And because of all of that built up anger, and it's just to a point where it's ridiculous, the level at which this energy is overstepping your boundaries and violating your narrative. You're the creator. You're the writer. And because the story keeper came out right in the middle here, this level of power, you don't even know yourself how much exists within you. It's unseen to you. You know it's there. You can feel it. But it's part of discovering yourself. Even at this point, you're writing a new chapter, and there's many more chapters to come. Wow. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. So what fell out that was face down, which definitely has a synchronicity with the Harpy of Rage. We have the Wheel of Fortune. So this is something that you don't even know fully what all is coming with this turning of the wheel. And that's part of the divine, the love within you that you've always been aware of is there. The awareness of self, of connection to consciousness. At the very basis, that could be exactly the simplest way even a child could relate to the concept of divinity, the awareness that you're experiencing this. There are surprises in this for you. You did a really good job in manifesting in the concept of you didn't fill into the fine detail. By the way, number synchronicity, 654, it's a countdown. It's a countdown. There may be 3 more steps. maybe 4 if you're counting O for 0 for omega. There are surprises in this for you. It's an adventure. And it's upright, and I typically read this deck upright, but then we have the Knight of Pentacles that came out, and the Five of Swords, and the Temperance. The Wheel of Fortune and Temperance, major arcana, these two are locked in. You have done the work to be in Temperance energy. But that doesn't mean that you're not aware of the anger and the rage within you at the injustice. It's whether or not you channel it, act it out in your life, in your world. Use that passion within you to do good, positive change, to empower others, to teach them, to say, this is my boundary and you don't get to cross it. It's done. I am putting the weight that you want me to carry down. This is yours. This is not mine. That's still temperance. That's still temperance. If you were to put it in the concept of like a parenting thing, I know here in the States, most of the people in my area and quite a few individuals I know, we're at least familiar with the concept of, God in the Bible, the Father, a parent can love both children, but still need to kind of be like, hey, you did wrong here. I love you. Don't do that. I know there's going to be consequences if I do not let you know that the world is not going to accept this behavior. I love you. Here is a consequence because it's a lesson. It's a teaching. Now, if you blow that kind of a concept into, angelic concepts with, the Trinity, heaven, earth, all of that, you can still be in a state of seeking justice, balance, harmony, and not be like, oh, above it all, right? No, like you're like not disconnected. You are connected to the reality that is being experienced as the channel on that above as that below. So the sadness, the hurt, the suffering, it's not just felt here, it's also felt up above, and you're in the middle. You're in the middle, you're that channel. And of course, when there is a desire for balance, it's not going to come out in a temper tantrum from a being that's capable of doing this. No, you attained this because you did the work. You attained this because you went within. You healed yourself. You got to know yourself. So when you do channel vengeance, no, it's not vengeance, it's justice. Vengeance is like, the deed was already done, the individual, the situation, it's already happened, and now you're seeking vengeance. Justice is the horrible thing is about to happen, could happen, is in the process of happening, but it hasn't completed its goal. So you can stop it from completing that goal, taking away that dream, that opportunity. You can stop it. So it's justice. It's stopping it from going too far. And because of that, there is still this tempering of it. It's unacceptable for it to go any further, right? Like it's just unacceptable. Like there's right and there's wrong, but you haven't lost complete control of the rage because, gosh, I really don't want to use this example because it's really dark, but I mean, it's consistently coming through. If you watch any like the crime shows and you have like a father who has like his little girl was attacked or his little boy was murdered or something really unjust had happened to a child that the individual was responsible for caring and as a parent, you love your child in a way that you've just never known before in your life. And you have that father or that mother that comes to the courthouse the day that the verdict is supposed to come through, and things seemed a bit shaky, like maybe they wouldn't really be seen as, or sentenced as guilty, or whatnot, and have to serve time. And then they come with the concept of, I'm going to take this out. I'm going to take this person out. They took my baby. I have nothing left, and they're going to pay. Like, that is vengeance. That is not healthy. However, humanly understandable. Do not get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. It's whether or not you act on it. To think about it is one thing. To do it is another. In this dynamic that is coming through here, that is the difference. This is not about vengeance. Whatever horrible thing happened or was in the process of happening with your story hasn't fully reached its conclusion because you didn't let it. You've been working on this for quite some time, and it gained you the ability to bring about justice yourself, like co-creating with the divine, with the beings around you, the individuals in your story that you're writing, to make it so that this energy of constantly taking away this concept of your worth, that you are worthy, you are enough, is just not going to be a thing. It's just not going to be a thing. You're making it so it's not happening anymore. Those around you that look to you, rely on you, they're not going to need to worry about this. You're breaking this curse. You're showing everyone around you how to act from a place of anger that is healthy, because you're parting the sea with this. You are. You're like, here is the line, and you do not cross. Knight of Pentacles. This has been slow in the process of moving forward, but you have been following your intuition, your connection to the divine. You've been listening to that, and you've probably had some moments of impatience because the Knight of Pentacles is a slow, forward-moving energy. But with his staff here, his pole arm, I also have a bit of like Poseidon energy. That might be a sync for someone. Five of Swords. You've been putting up with just ridiculous distractions and frustrations and just, why is this silliness even happening? And you sat down with yourself every time this happened, again and again and again and again. And because of every time you sat down and you became receptive in this meditative state to the wisdom coming through your higher self and the divine, you actually learned each lesson, and you learned it thoroughly. You owned it. This is the difference right here between someone who has demonstrated again and again and again that you can stand in temperance energy and write your own story, and it be an expression that creates balance and harmony in all of those characters in your life. Someone who does not do this, has had the opportunity but would not sit down, would not listen to that wisdom, would not actually follow the guidance. They couldn't have temperance energy and not write a narrative that would be a nightmare of imbalance for everyone, because they had no idea what they were doing with that power. No idea. And it's not to undermine the suffering that happens in repeating these cycles over and over, but you were refining every detail of exactly how best you wanted to write your story and why. So when you're in this energy, there is no doubt. There is no, well, I don't know. There, you know what is what. And you know that should you have answers or you seek to have answers, you know who you can go to. You go within and you connect to that that divinity, that light source, that love within you. And by light, I mean, let me paint you a picture. No matter how old you are, and no matter where you are in your life at this moment, can you picture a moment from your childhood where you were carefree? Maybe you were on a swing and you were playing at the park and you had lost complete control and track of time. You were just fully in the moment and you were laughing and you were giggling, and the worries of the world just weren't a part of your awareness. You were fully present. That, to me, is light. That peace that we all seek to be in as much as we possibly can. It's more and more challenging the older we become, and then we find ourselves doing everything that we can to provide that space for the children in our lives that we nurture. Okay, so they want me to point out this here too. With the receptive energy, we have the Emperor at the top, and it leads to the Seven of Swords, which the Seven of Swords, how do you write your story, is yet again coming through with that card. How do you tell your story? Do you cater it for your audience? Do you hold yourself rigidly to the truth as you recall? Or do you find yourself remembering certain things given the individual that you're speaking to, that you find yourself remembering more and more and more? How do you tell your story? And then we have, for the Oracle, we have the Sisterhood of Reciprocity and the Songstress. The awareness that when you write your story, that you're impacting the other characters and how you choose to write your story. How do you choose to show up? What energy do you put effort in to be in when you do encounter other individuals to create that experience, that memory with them? And the songstress, when you read into the book, it had a really interesting aspect that popped out to me, and it was the concept that nobody's perfect. And that's what makes you human. Some of the most profound lessons that I've carried with me throughout my life, and I'm sure many of you can relate. And it came to me earlier today in the meditation, so I'm going to speak to it here. Observing the individuals in my life that I was to learn what it was to be a man or a woman or a mother or a father. The moments where they allowed me to see that they didn't have all the answers, that they were doing their best, that they were trying, allowed me to see the humanity in them. And that memory stayed with me. So as an adult, when I encounter situations or dynamics where I'm like, that, I really don't know what to do here, I'm remembering that even they didn't know what to do. And that somehow makes it less scary because they weren't perfect, but I knew that they tried. So as long as I try, that's all I could really ask of myself. So as long as you try, that's all that's being asked. And in time, you're going to gain awareness, familiarity. You're going to become more of a professional or expertise. You're going to refine exactly how you want to sing your song into the world. Share your energy, your vibration. Excuse me. And that while you're taking that time to do that, the people that you're interacting with, the very fact that you're learning, that you haven't got it perfected. I mean, obviously, life is a constant experience of learning. I'm not perfect. I'm imperfect. Some people find my imperfections amazing. Others are like, but not everybody is necessarily meant to be that close to you in your story. And that's okay. Question is, when you encounter them, did you learn? Okay. So this is going to be more of the assertive energy. What Source Divine is asking you to maybe act towards, question, actively look into, seek resolution. It's less about are you open and it's more about what do you need to give energy to? What do you maybe need to focus on a bit more? Okay, we'll do one more here. All right. Oh, okay. Those two came out together. One upright and the other face down. Interesting. Acrobatics. Hey. Flexibility. Adaptability. Indecisive. Wishy-washy. Like, well, I'll do this, but no, I won't, but I will, but I won't. Ooh, anxiety. Yeah. Okay, that totally. Ooh, nice. So it came out sideways initially, you know, like it was kind of balancing there, and it landed face up. It's nice. 9 of Cups. So whatever this is, it's good. Okay. We might do a couple of clarifiers, but we'll see. We'll see what comes through here. So this is a mixture of reading the card in, like, yes, the traditional interpretation, but also there's an intuitive aspect here. There's so much present within the image and the way things fall that is communication. Definitely. All right. So first of all, we have the 6 of Swords that landed upright, and then we have the 8 of Spheres that was inverted. So 6 of Swords is like traditionally, yes, moving into calmer waters, but this to me is talking about alignment. So we have a broken heart, and we're supposed to be finding some kind of somewhere in the middle here. And that's forming. That's forming. You see how it's not just a straight line. But the 8 of Cups in the reverse is self-illusion. Yes, you've been dealing a lot with possibly energies that have been not wanting you to be in this empowered state. Yeah, they want to keep writing your story for you and controlling all the characters in it and have you continually in this cycle, never breaking free, you know, blah, blah, blah. That's enough airtime for them. So you've learned a lot about the projections that others, energies, situations may place upon you that you then have to be like, all right, what is this? Is this mine? What can I learn from it? If it's not mine, if it is mine, what value does this information have for me? You don't have to deal with that so much anymore. Now it's what has this had an impact on within you? Because this energy is not present. And if it is still present, you're obviously handling that. Obviously handling that. Now you get to look at your reactions to situations, energies, dynamics that may have been familiar, but you know they're different. Now you get to learn the fine-tuning. How different are they? Because typically this image tells me what goes up must come down, but this is telling the opposite of what goes down must come back up. So this is also speaking, like, you got to go within you to look at what's going on to bring that to light and raise the energy vibration within you again. This is what's bringing you into alignment within yourself to this Wheel of Fortune. You're not including any of their if anymore, this outside energy. It is about, how did I react differently this time to this because this was different, and how do I want to frame this? How do I want to figure out the answer? What question do I have that I need the answer for to bring it to light, to raise it back up to the vibration of positivity? And that is awesome. That is a beautiful message there. And we have the Queen of Swords in the inverted. Interesting. Upright. Like the Queen of Swords gets kind of a bad rap, I think. Yes, there is definitely going to be a toxic Queen of Swords that you can read into. And we know a lot about that. This particular Queen of Swords is telling me that you have found something that you don't want to cut ties with. You don't want to break the bridge. For, the aspect of the collective tuning in here, you guys have been in hermit mode. You have been doing the work. You have been lifting so much weight. It's like, you hear about those stories about how the infant rolls under a car and the mom lifts like the whole vehicle up and grabs the infant. Like, you have been doing some heavy lifting. And there's a connection here that you don't want to cut ties with. There's a dream, there's a passion, there's a want, a desire, a wish that you are like, I am going to experience this in my new wheel of fortune, in my new cycle. I am going to experience this. And you look how it just kind of like blends, and she's just kind of melty and distorted, right? Well, I'll show it to you upright. It might be a little easier to see. Either way, that sword is in the upright. This Queen of Swords knows the truth. She knows the truth. Even though there's this energy that was always trying to distort, challenge. She's cut what she needs to cut to experience the higher vibration of light. And that is, like, if it is more of a male or masculine energy that is resonating with this, it's about your receptivity to this. It's not about your inner feminine. It's about, what are you open to? Are you open to this? Does this resonate as something that you are open to experiencing, or you have been, or are currently? Because it leads to your 9 of Cups. This drop here at the top, this drop here, this water, may speak of lineage, bloodline, ancestors. Is more, it's the inheritance of challenges that you have overcome, things that you have healed, ancestral wounds. This drop is ready for a cup. It's there. You're open to that. And since this is more assertive energy, have you let the world know that you're no longer in hermit mode? Have you let the narrative that you write, the story that you write in, you know what, I'm ready to be a part of this again. I'm ready to put myself out there again. I'm ready to cultivate, oh my gosh, synchronicity, 717, this is grounding into the physical. Yeah. This is grounding into the physical. It's time to let the energy around you, the individuals, dynamics. I mean, maybe it's like getting a profile on a dating website. I don't know what it may be, but it's a statement to you and those around you that you're open to making friends, to cultivating more social environments, to networking. This could be business orientation as well, networking, building groups of people that you know that know other groups of people, and you're connecting them, and they're connecting with you. I do want to say that I feel quite a bit of the receptive energy here with this Queen of Swords, but this is more the assertive aspect in the reading. You can assertively choose to be receptive. You could actively choose to make yourself open to be able to receive. And then we have the 7 of Cups in the inverted with the Devil. Ooh, boy. I would say this is probably going to be your challenge here. But it's not external. If you frame it external, it will be very, very challenging. If you allow yourself to come back here, because these two, they bookend each other, just like they did up here. It's the same thing, same dynamic. This was about going within you. It's not about anything else outside of you. It's about breaking your own reactions that you're finding are legitimately your own feelings about stimuli or situations in your environment. This is saying, do not shy away from what you have learned. Do not go, yeah, I've been there. I've experienced it when it was something being projected at me. Don't deny that truth. Don't try to write that out of your experience. It has made you wiser. It has made you stronger for having overcome it. To have that awareness will allow you to be able to see when you yourself are saying to yourself, I don't have options. I don't have choices. I'm only limited to 1, 2, 3, 4 cups. I don't have 7. Self-sabotage here. This is now where you're not dealing with how the world sabotages you. You've gotten very familiar with that. You're looking at how you sabotage your world now from within. And I do want to say this because it came through in the meditation earlier. The difference between a dynamic that is not healthy, or, some may call it like energy vampire, when you come together with another energy and you don't need anything from them. You don't need anything. You are bringing all of you to the table. Okay? And so are they. If they are out of balance, if they are in a state of need, of lack, their energy will take from you. Now, that's not necessarily meaning that they are an energy vampire, but that is part of the dynamic of the imbalance within them, their unhealed state. An energy vampire, legitimate energy vampire, if you've ever encountered one or been the victim, you know it's a whole nother league. It's not simple, it's not small, it's very obvious, it's very noticeable. So, if you both come together and you don't really need anything from one another, when your energy interacts with each other's energy, you find yourself creating something together, not taking or giving too much. It's creating together. It's a dance. You step, I step. Just like the basic box dance, but like you both know what's going on. Nobody's stepping on anybody's feet. One's not more in their assertive energy, but they haven't really taken time to really understand the power within their receptive energy. So they're trying to lead the dance, but they're supposed to allow you to lead sometimes. Like take turns, however it may be. If we're going to be talking in a traditional dance, typically the man leads. Well, that'll be quite awkward if the woman is leading. The man's going to be like, wait, what, huh? And they're going to trip on each other. And they're just examples. They're ways to be able to understand the concepts and apply them how it fits for you. And the dance of life. Oh, that song, Garth Brooks, The Dance. Beautiful song, profound. It might be worth listening to or spending some time with the music video. There might be a synchronicity in that for you guys. But paint yourself as the person you're dancing with, and then see how you feel about it when it involves someone else that you're dancing with. How do you dance with yourself? Once you're balanced in harmony with that, you're not stepping on your own feet, then you can call in. You can be receptive to an energy that's not stepping on their own feet either. And that's not to say that there's not going to be challenges. That's not to say that everything's going to be perfect, because my goodness, it's to say that you're going to be able to handle the waves of that ocean in a balanced way together. So the top and the bottom here we had for the assertive. What are you to act towards, give to, focus on, take initiative in? Heal, heal. Allow this space that you have gone to be able to be in temperance and phoenix and hold that anger. Hold it, hold it, hold it, and not let it turn you into an individual who is throwing a temper tantrum as a full-grown adult. However, but an individual who knows yourself, understands that anger, and is very, very focused on where you direct that energy. And you're open and receptive to when you do know it's time. Continue to go back to this space. Back to this space. Make sure you're taking the time for that. And on the bottom, we have the King of Cups and the inverted. Adonis in the Divine Masculine Healing Oracle. Oh my gosh. The Divine Masculine Healing Oracle deck series that I've done. The Adonis reading may have some deeper insights for you into this energy if you yourself identify with it, or if there's an energy outside of you that does. And I say that because the Adonis energy immediately spoke to me of King of Cups. Because if you take this time to reflect, to be aware, to tap in, to know, to make that space for all this that is going on in your story to come back down to a grounded, balanced, and yet connected to that love within you state, this King of Cups will be in the upright. If you're not doing that, if you're not taking that time, this King of Cups will be in the inverted. It'll be in the unempowered state. So you won't be able to give. You'll be shut off. You'll be disconnected, and the anger and the rage will begin to build. And it'll begin to build the self-sabotage. And you may not be able to see that truth. You may not be able to understand it, to be able to bring that energy back up. You'll go within, but not be able to raise that energy back up if you don't continue to maintain what you have done that has allowed you to be able to be in this temperance energy. The King of Cups, if this is resonating as a masculine for you in particular, and a male in your life, there's this awareness of not being able to connect with what is all that emotion, all that intuition, all of that water around them. Yet there they are, this picture of masculine divine beauty. So they begin to feel that their only worth is in their appearance. And they're always going to be looked at, but never included. Desired, but not necessarily a part of. Like they're there to be looked upon and like used, almost like consumed. Their consumption, like a commodity, not a person. It's just like there's so much heartbreak in that. And if you have known a masculine energy to have been in that state, and they have found this healing to be able to give of themselves to something that actually makes them feel connected, included, seen, heard, beyond everything that made them feel apart from. That takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage. So whatever this practice is that they have done, or that you yourself have done, keep doing it. Because at the very least, you're giving to yourself. Actually, that's the greatest gift you could give. It is not selfish to take care of you. It is the greatest gift that you can give others, is your best self that you can bring to the table. It's not selfish to take care of your own emotional, mental state. Others may say, oh, well, you're selfish. You're just always, putting you first. No, I'm actually putting you guys first by making sure when I'm with you, I'm really actually present. That's why I do these things, so I can be that me for you. Beautiful reading. All right, that will bring today's reading to a close. Thank you very much for tuning in, for watching, for commenting, subscribing, sharing. If you feel like donating, there's my Cash App is in the details under the reading. Also, my email. If you wanted to book a reading, shoot me an email. That's the best way to get a hold of me. And just, I'm very grateful and humbled to have co-created this reading with you guys. The divine within me honors the divine within you. Namaste.